All right, figured I'd do another video here. I wanted to just run over some of the literature I have. Maybe go over some specs that maybe you guys don't have that's in some of these manuals. I'm gonna try to flip through it as quick as I can. Didn't put anything in an order. I'm just gonna kind of look at stuff, but I do want to start with one thing, and that is this car audio and electronics mag. And in this, they did a 6 amp shootout, and it has the PPI, the Pro class had just come out, and this is the PC 275. It didn't do all that great. It was up against a couple amps, an MTX Blue Thunder it did way over its rating, and so that kind of wowed them. And then an audio control, which if you know audio control, especially back then, I think even to this day they're well respected as far as their signal processing, and that amp had everything on it. But the interesting one that I want to get to, if you see it, DEI, which if you're like me, it was kind of the harbinger of death to the car audio industry. And this is my understanding. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. DEI made their money with alarms, which back in the day, this stuff was so expensive, so valuable. There was a pretty big incentive to steal it, and so car alarms. I mean, basically, if you had a system, you had to have one. So no matter what brand you were buying, you were going to buy a car alarm, and I think that they had a large chunk of the market on that. So that's how they had their money. To then, when the industry kind of the bottom fell out, when they were trying to adjust to going from a boutique market to big box stores to internet, and a lot of these companies were so large and bloated, they weren't able to quickly make the jump to that. Here comes DEI with a bag of money and took, I know PPI, Orion, and ADS. Outside of that, I'm not really sure. I know that there was other brands that they absorbed, but anyway, real quick, flip to this is the shootout, and I just want to show you. We'll just read this section together. This was if I can get to it. We got to go back because they definitely weren't first. They kind of split it into 4-channel amps, and here let me go over these pages in case anybody's interested in what their measurements and everything were on these. If I can get this glare out of here. Sorry, I'm dealing with a really bad cold that I've had for this past week. Had a coworker come back from Mexico and bring this present with him, so I don't know. Hopefully you can get all that. Gosh, that glare's bad. There we go. So hopefully you can see the numbers in case you were interested in that. But these were the 4-channel, and then they split it into 2-channel. So essentially the power class came in dead last for its as a 2-channel. I don't think they did overall and compared the 4 channels to the 2 channels. But you'll notice here the DEI gave you a lifetime warranty. So you could get a lifetime full of what I'm gonna hear. I'll show you. This magazine's actually seen some water damage, but it's the only one I could find of the power class. So I just bought this because I have a large power class collection. But so the DEI says, yeah, well known for their vehicle security products. Let's get to the down and dirty of it. Yeah, we're gonna get to, hold on, there we go. There's a second column. So this is all in the DEI. But here's the important thing. In the lab, it exceeded its modest power ratings. However, its damping factor measured only 33. And they say, although that's not very important, I guess as a 4-channel full range, amplifier, bass signals is not what you're looking for. But dampening factor to me, you want to see 50 plus. After that, it gets kind of where it's not, it's so minute. But that's kind of the resistance to the feedback, like the basically the resistance of the driver creates, because basically you're running a coil past a magnet, and so you're creating electricity through the subwoofer is creating electricity because due to the motor structure moving back and forth. So in a sealed box, or no, I'm sorry, in a a ported box, and you're running it at tuned frequency, that frequency through the sub, it's not moving a whole lot. That's not going to play a big factor. But I've always used sealed enclosures, and you're going to see a lot of movement. The more movement you see, or the further you get away from the tuned frequency in a ported enclosure, the more that's going to move. The more important dampening factor is going to be in when you're, with the amplifier trying to control the driver. So, it actually is a factor. But anyway, sorry, let me continue here. So it made a little bit of noise turning on and off. More significantly, its distortion was quite high, especially at low levels. The low-level distortion, called zero cross or crossover distortion, was evidently due to under-biasing of one half of its output stage at the 1 milliwatt level, which corresponds to about 60 dB SPL. Almost an entire half cycle of the test signal was cut off. So this is an amp that DEI, when they're trying to make a name for themselves making amplifiers, sent to Car Audio and Electronics. And this is, I believe, May of '97, that they sent to them, and to be like, hey, this is what we got. And then we're going to now, like 2-3 years down the line, entrust all of the biggest, best names to that company. Obviously it was a matter of survival at that point, because, you weren't going, hey, you know what? We've made our money. We're looking to cash in them chips. Let's go ahead and, find a suitable, a marriage of companies here that's going to work long term, and then we'll just take our money and run. No, this was who will buy us? And DEI's like, hey, I got money, and so they're like, all right, you own Orion now, and you own PPI, and you own ADS, and the future of car audio lies with you, DEI. This is gonna go sweet, First, let's offshore everything, That'll be the first, because we're gonna want to keep that quality up, and we're gonna want to, make sure that, hardworking, competent American workers, they don't have their jobs anymore. So, please take this over and, take this car audio into the next generation. I absolutely hate DEI, and and I'm sure there was good people that worked there, but whoever was steering the ship was there, I don't know, the captain was sleeping and the navigator was drunk. So, but yeah, so anyway, I'm rambling now, but that's my DEI spiel.